Blinky's back.
Let's talk about it.
You know how to actually message, oh, I love Blinky. And I went, I'm sure he'll be back.
He's back.
Hello there, Clapperheads, and welcome to a brand new episode of ClapperTalks. I am Nick Dorian.
And I'm Kelvin Tay.
And that's Blinky. Blinky has returned because he seems to be our new mascot from now on. Until I get a plush figure of this mascot, Blinky will remain.
To be fair, it's really, really comfortable.
Yeah, I get it. It's comfortable. You know what? I feel jealous. Here's Stitch. I have a Stitch.
Seriously, what are we going to talk about today?
Okay, so today we're going to be talking about Wolves.
Okay.
The George Clooney and Brad Pitt film, which, to be honest, I thought was a lot of fun.
I feel so too.
You're a man who can fix things.
There's nobody can do what I do. That's why you called me.
Who are you?
I'm here to take care of your problem.
There's a lot of mixed reviews about it at the moment, but I feel like it is a lot of fun. I get those mixed reviews, which we will discuss, but regardless, this is a fun film guaranteed to entertain you.
Yes.
First and foremost.
When was the last time the both of them were sharing a screen together?
I think the last time was Ocean's 13. Yeah,
Oceans, right?
That would have been the last time. Because I think since then, Clooney and Pitt have done their own things, but we haven't seen them since Ocean's 13.
Especially Clooney. We don't see much of
Oh,
Clooney.
no. Clooney has been around. Like, I think the last thing I saw him in was Ticket to Paradise with Julia Roberts.
Okay.
Which, again, you can't fault it. If you see Clooney, you're in for a good time regardless of the script. You see Pitt, same thing.
And that's exactly how I feel about Wolves. Because
Yes.
you have two really great actors, right? By great, I mean like they're not only like on name brand, they're like great actors. They have range too, right? And when the both of them came out, I saw a couple of reviews online saying that it's just a mediocre film, you know, they're just putting big name on this like really mediocre story. But I feel like I went in not knowing anything, but I'm glad I did that. Because it's like what you say, it's a feel-good show.
Yes, it is.
It's a feel-good show.
And like the second you hear, like the second I saw the trailer, Clooney, Pitt, that was enough for me to go, all right, no matter how bad the story may be, I'm going to have a good time because it's the two of them.
Yeah, because it's not Joker Folie à Doudou.
No, it's not. It's not at all.
Yeah.
I'm glad I watched this after Joker Folie à Doudou.
Yeah,
because
it's like a palate cleanser.
it is.
It's a palate cleanser.
It's a reminder that, Hollywood can do good things.
Exactly.
Especially when the director's not being a dick. So,
Oh my God! Did you like? I believe you.
I
you
sent it to you.
right?
Okay,
and
before we get back into the Wolves, we need to talk about this for a little bit.
Segue.
To Joker Folie à Doudou and Todd Phillips being an absolute, I'm sorry, pardon my French, asshole about this whole thing.
So there are some new developments about Joker Folie à Doudou. Full disclosure, I have not watched it, nor do I think I'll watch it anytime soon.
Yeah,
right?
wait for it on digital.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna wait for it to just like being released on streaming sites only. I'd be like, okay, it's a slow Wednesday night. Let's pop on a shitty film.
If you want to hear our review, check out our previous episode. We talked about it, Joker Folie à Doudou, because it was a pile of doo-doo.
It was definitely a pile of doo-doo. So Nick shared this with me yesterday, and it's by Variety.
Yeah.
Inside the Joker Folie à Doudou debacle, Todd Phillips wanted nothing to do with DC on the $200 million misfire. This is not the one I saw actually, Nick. But
I can break it down because I know about it all. So first of all, Phillips wanted nothing to do with DC, even though he's directing a DC product. 2, he specifically only wanted to liaise with Warner Brothers and no one else. This whole idea of initially the sequel wasn't Phillips that wanted to do it, wasn't Warner Brothers that wanted to do it. It was Joaquin Phoenix who said he wanted to do a sequel, even though he famously said countless times that he hates doing sequels. For some reason, he wanted to do a sequel for this. Phillips hid himself away in his
luxury
lodge,
cabin lodge
when
up in the mountains, up north.
Yeah, when the film came out. They've reached out to Gunn and Safran. No comment from them just yet. The fact, and I don't know why I didn't clock this, the fact that there wasn't a DC Studios logo in front of the film in the opening credits. There was at the end, but in the opening credits there wasn't, and that should have been a clear sign that this was a huge go fuck yourselves DC from Phillips, which I feel is very ignorant and selfish and self-absorbed, that he just wanted to make a film for himself. I mean, literally, there was an article that said Joker, a folie à deux, is a giant fuck you to the fans. And again, the fans went, fuck you to Phillips.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, I can't really say much about this, right? Because I have not watched the film. But there are a couple of things that came out saying that this film has undone everything or all the success that Joker 1 did.
Yeah.
Right? And people are just looking at the online presence now, right? On TikTok, on Instagram, on even YouTube, for example, there are two camps of people. Camp number one is like, don't watch this film, it's shit, it's the worst.
Yeah.
Camp number two are people who will be like, oh, the film's not bad, you're just too stupid to understand it.
Yes. Right? Yeah. Like you sent me that video trying to explain the ending.
Yeah.
And to which I went to you, it was like, fair point, I don't think that's what they were doing in the first place.
Yeah.
And now that I've found out that Christopher Nolan actually vetoed against the original ending of the Joker, because the original ending of the Joker was going to show Joaquin Phoenix's character carve a smile in his face, akin to what Heath Ledger had done. And Nolan vetoed against it and went, no, don't do that. To which I agree. The ending of Joker turned out much better for it. However, now it feels like this was Phillips's revenge on that by going, oh, you didn't let me do it on that? I'm going to do it in this. I'm going to do it right at the end. And because you said no.
And it's a nameless character as well,
It's a nameless character. Yeah. We don't know. And people are like, oh, is this the birth of, Heath Ledger's Joker? Which makes no sense because it's not in the same universe anyway. So it doesn't make any sense. It's just, it feels like Phillips got a bit too egotistical from the first Joker. Because let's face it, before this, he was doing films like The Hangover. He was doing comedy films.
Hangover. Yeah.
So with this, he tried his luck at doing a dramatic film, and it worked. And I felt that made him go, ooh, I could do it again, and I can do it better. The fact that he was hiding away at a lodge, one, feels, again, I'm too good for this. Two, also maybe the sense of, maybe I really did fuck up with this.
Yeah.
And there has been a viral video going around as well of the Cannes Film Festival when they were having the standing ovation. Joaquin Phoenix turned over to Gaga and said something, and people are now trying to lip read what Gaga said. I don't know whether this is true. Again, it's just based off lip reading, but Phoenix seems to say it's horrible. And Gaga goes, you can't say that. And he went, yeah, it's horrible. I don't like this film. And she was like, really? But why? So it's almost like, it's doomed from the start.
I like the idea that they tried to sell musical to comic book fans.
You see, the musical aspect is not something I have a problem with. Like I said in our review, if they wanted to make it a musical, go full out.
Yeah, go all out.
I mean, look at Agatha All Along at the moment. Sure, it's not a musical. There are songs in it, and it works. That's the thing. This did not work because it felt halfway, neither here nor there. I'm not against superheroes doing musicals. I think one of the best ones out there, which not a lot of people remember or know of, is Dr. Horrible Sing-Along Blog, which is a full-blown short musical with superheroes. And it works. You got Neil Patrick Harris, you got what's his name? Nathan Fillion, and I love it to death. Albeit now Joss Whedon has kind of tarnished his name, but still, that was a great musical superhero film.
Yep.
So the fact that they turned this into a musical, I'm agreeable with. Just make it full blown. And also, those people out there who feel like they have been lied to, that, oh, I was lied to that Joker was a musical. I didn't know. Oh, my interpretation of this is ruined. Why are they hiding this from us? It wasn't hidden, guys. It's in the damn trailer. Everyone is like, Hollywood's trying to hide that it's a musical.
Yeah.
No, they're not.
It was in the trailer.
It was in the trailer.
Anyways.
It was in the news. Stop it!
Anyways, we're here to talk about wolves.
Yes.
Just a quick segue.
Yes, quick segue.
Now just pulling things back.
We had to talk about that because it was a big piece of news.
Yeah,
but
it's like
wolves. which is not a pile of garbage.
Yep.
In fact, it was great. Unfortunately, one bit of controversy that happened way before the film even came out was it was supposed to be released here in Malaysia. There was supposed to be a theatrical release.
Yeah, I was just about to ask you, why are we not seeing this in theaters and instead?
I think Apple got cold feet for some reason because they sent out a press release from Apple themselves going, oh, they're pulling it from theaters, not just internationally, but nationwide in America as well, and putting it purely on the platform. And then a few days...
Apple TV, right?
Apple TV. And then a few days after that, they then announced, okay, this will be screened nationwide. So it almost felt like they were having...
So it went digital first, then
It went digital
theaters.
first and then theaters, but only in America. Which made me feel, correct me if I'm wrong, if anybody knows the proper reasoning out there, let us know in the comments or messages privately. But it felt like they had a bit of cold feet and decided to go, oh, no, we'll just put this on streaming platform first. And then seeing the reaction to it, okay, let's give it a cinematic release as well. Which is a bit of a shame because I would have loved to see this in the cinema.
Yeah, same.
I thought I
Same.
would have a grand time with this in the cinema. So it was a bit of a shame about that. But it's Clooney and Pitt. Like, honestly, at the end of the day, this is a film where you're just going to watch two men bickering.
Yeah.
And it is fantastic.
It really felt like going into the film, right? I don't want to spoil a lot of it, but just going into the first part of the film where they were introduced to each other. Right?
Yeah.
It felt like they were just... It's like a normal conversation between Pitt and Clooney.
Yes.
Not them in character.
No.
But as just them as friends. You know, it's like petty bickering, you know, a bit of rivalry as well.
Yeah.
And then it's not awkward. It's very natural, I would say.
The chemistry between the two of them
That's the word
is
I was looking
unrivaled. They have a great chemistry together. Their banter with each other is great. It has great comedic timing. Their back and forth is wonderful. But that, again, is the reasoning why people are giving it mixed reviews, because they feel like they're watching just Clooney and Pitt rather than characters. But sometimes, if it works, it works.
Yeah.
That's my argument to it. If it works, go with it. Sure, we may not see characters, but are we having a good time? Is it fun? Sure, yeah, it is.
I would say cases like this, right? I have to understand the context of where this film is coming from. We're not watching a DC or MCU film.
No.
Like they have to play like a comic book character that is lore accurate, or they're playing like a historical piece, for example, like playing a king or like you know, like a very grand person on film. They're just playing what hitmen?
Sort of
cleaners.
Cleaners, yeah.
Cleaners?
Yeah. Like,
they were just
the cleanup crew.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They are a solo cleanup crew that basically cleans up mess for very rich people or like very powerful people, for example, right?
Yeah.
And they were introduced into the film. They were in a hotel room, and then I feel like it's okay because again, they're not playing some character that we already know. They're just playing someone that comes to do their job, cleaning up the mess, and they call it a day.
Yep.
But just so happened the plot thickens, you know, and shit happens, and then more and more slowly unfolds, right? Again, I don't want to spoil a lot of it, but that's basically the entire film. Clean up, chase bad guys. No, not chase bad guy. Chase an asset.
Yes.
Yeah,
an
chase
asset. That's the best way I can say it.
Chase an asset
And try and get themselves out of trouble.
Try to get themselves out of trouble, and then in the end, something happened.
Yeah.
Right.
Not going to spoil it.
It's how I would put it in summary. It's a film about two brothers who hate each other, but they have to achieve a single goal.
Yeah. It feels very old school. Like, this is really old school criminal caper sort of film, akin to films like, I wrote this down, like films like Dirty Rotten Scoundrel, Stakeout, Butch and the Sundance Kid. Those comedy duos, I mean, again, have to go back to Ocean's 11 because it is very similar in that. But it's just very old school, fun, filled with banter. You're going to have a good time. Sure, the story might be a little bit mediocre, might be very basic, but Pitt and Clooney are there to lift it up. That's what we're there to see.
I would say the actions, how the story unfolds is also pretty interesting. Yes, it's a bit of a cliche, and yes, you can actually see the story unfolding 2 steps ahead of you. But again, I agree with you where Pitt and Clooney actually lift up the entire thing. And also, what is the asset's name?
The actor's name?
The actor's name, yeah.
Oh, I'm not too sure. That one you have to Google again. Because he did a fantastic job. Like, it was I can't spoil anything, but like he was damn fun. But while you search for that,
Austin Abrams.
Yes.
Yeah, he don't even have a name. His name in the film is credited as Kid.
Yeah, even Pitt and Clooney don't have names.
Pitt's name is Nick.
Is it?
Yeah, Nick.
I thought it was.
It's just Nick.
Oh, okay. Because I know it was. What do you call it? They named it after the person that called them, like this cleaner and that cleaner. But coming back again to the story of it, if you're expecting a massive intellectual mystery type of story, you'll be sorely disappointed, because I feel like if they did that, they would lose the plot. Like, might overshadow Pitt and Clooney. At the end of the day, like I said before, you are going into this film just to watch the two of them have banter with each other and watch that chemistry together.
I would categorize this on the same level as films like most recently, it's like Hitman, for example, or even stunt guys.
The Fall Guy.
Fall Guy.
Yes.
Fall Guy, right? It's one of those films where, you're not getting some Inception level storytelling.
Yeah.
Right? It's just you go in, you have a good time, you enjoy a couple of snacks. You after the film you can talk to your friends about it, and it's like, oh, that's actually quite a fun film, right?
Yeah.
I went in expecting exactly what I expected, and I'm coming out not disappointed.
Yeah, not at all. Like, I laughed out loud at quite a number of bits.
Yes.
Like, it's just so much fun to just put on a good. I know.
Okay.
Go watch it for yourself, and you'll understand our frustration, because we can't spoil it for you.
Yeah.
We don't want to spoil it for you. But like, you go into this on a movie night, you want something fun to watch, this is the perfect choice for you at this point. Especially the fact that it's on streaming, you won't have trouble finding it. Go put it on, relax, have a good time, and leave with a smile.
Yes.
That's what Wolves is all about at this point. The film will fail without Clooney and Pitt.
Agreed.
They just carry the entire film on their back.
Agreed.
So where would you put this on the Clapper meter?
A 3 out of 5.
3 out of... Okay, we're going by tens. So if it's by tens?
If it's by 10, that was... Oh, shit, man. Like a solid 7.
7?
Solid 7, yeah.
Okay, I would give it an 8.
Okay.
So give it an average of like 7.5.
7.5, yeah.
Yeah, it's a good, decent film.
Yeah.
Like, you can't really fault it. Sure, you can nitpick about it.
Yeah, you can be nitpick about it, but then you will end up being the bad guy, because it's a film that, again, it's not a historical film.
Yeah.
It's not a lore-accurate film. It's just two guys trying to one-up each other
Yeah.
again and again and again.
And that's so much fun to watch. I think you just got to go into this film without any expectations. Put anything aside. Empty your mind.
Yeah.
Go have fun.
I just want to add on that Austin Abrams, the actor who plays the kid, he is what's the term in films where they always have like a comedic relief? He is the comedic relief.
He's the comedic relief. Yeah,
thank you.
is.
Thanks, Cal.
Yeah,
Right,
good job.
right. He acts as a amazing comedic relief for the film, and I feel like Clooney, Pitt, and Abrams, like the three of them, really blend well together.
Yeah.
Right?
Which is why I said it really feels like an old school caper film. Like, films like these don't get made anymore.
Yes.
Like,
I mean, here and there sometimes, usually at the very beginning of the blockbuster season, right? Like it's a early summer film.
Okay, I'll rephrase it. Films like this don't get made anymore that work. I feel this works, again, on a very old school level.
Okay.
Like, it really brings me... Like, the whole time I was watching it, it really felt like I was watching... I can't help but say this again. Michael Caine and Steve Martin in Dirty Rotten Scoundrels. As the best way I can put it. It really felt like that all over again. Two massive giants at the time, still are, of the industry coming together and just bickering back and forth, trying to solve a case.
No, it's just like one up,
Yeah.
one up, right?
And you know what? Now, this is a bit of a deep cut. I don't know if you've seen this film called Grumpy Old Men.
Why does that sound familiar?
Walter Matthau, Jack Lemmon.
Grumpy Old
Man. It was a film back in the, I want to say late 80s, early 90s. Yeah.
1993.
And it was essentially the two of them who had worked together. They became a comedic duo. Jack Lemmon and Walter Matthau have worked together since The Odd Couple.
Yeah, now I want to watch this.
I am waiting for Pitt and Clooney to get old enough to do a film like Grumpy Old Man. Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
I am waiting for them to get old enough to do a film like that because I think they will be perfect. If you haven't seen Grumpy Old Man, please go and watch it. I love it to bits. Grumpy Old Man and its sequel, Grumpier Old Man.
There is a more monotonous comparison to this. I'm not sure if you heard of this film before. It's called The Trip.
Oh, yeah, of course.
The Trip.
Steve Coogan and, I'm going to shoot myself.
Steve
Coogan and Rob Brydon.
Oh
yes.
I'm really, really terrible in
I
this.
have to know because it's
Steve Coogan and Rob Brydon, right? Yes.
Yeah. If you haven't seen those, that's great as well.
Do you know there's more than...
the trip to Italy, the trip to Greece.
I've only watched The Trip. That is one of my favorite, I would say, bromance film.
If you haven't seen The Trip as well, go see it. If you can find the series itself, go and watch the series because it's almost like the extended cut of the film.
It's very well done.
The film is essentially the episodes just cut into one big film. But that is a lot of fun because there's not much story. It's just the two of them on a trip.
I feel like I have a very soft spot for films that actually blend in culinary as well. Yeah.
That's a good segue. Speaking of culinary.
We're going to take a break here. Speaking of culinary, I believe Nick has a film that he wants to introduce that I've yet to watch. But before that, I have a question for him as well.
Yes.
After the break.
All right.
There's an art to this you may not realize. What? Nothing. Jerk. Touch.
So while you have your drink, I want to talk to you about a film that may not actually want to make you drink or eat anymore.
Before you go there.
Yes.
Before you go there. I remember last week I asked you, like, hey Nick, I found this new show.
Yeah.
It's food related as well. It's food related as well. It's a reality TV show. It's Korean. It's Netflix.
Yeah.
Right? It's called
Culinary Class Wars.
And I come from a space where on my free time I usually just put like Hell's Kitchen in the background, right? Because everyone loves a bit of drama, right? And I personally, I like to cook and I love food. And when Culinary Class War came out, it was I didn't even think much about it. I was having dinner and I usually eat dinner while watching TV.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, yeah, that's on Netflix. Let's go. First episode. Shit.
Yeah.
Second episode. Shit.
Yeah.
Third episode. Oh no.
Okay, wait. Third
Right?
episode, I'm not there yet. I've seen the first two episodes, but third episode, I'm not there yet.
And I texted you. Saying,
Yes.
Hey Nick, you have to sit down with your wife and watch this. And I remember saying, watch this on a full stomach or something along the lines of that. Yeah.
And that night itself, we sat and watched it, and I went, "Yeah, I get what you say. Don't watch this on an empty stomach."
Yeah.
But I do have to mention, whoever's editing this, be on point, lah.
Dude.
You are on point with this editing.
God, man.
Some points are just borderline hilarious the way that they edit it.
Yeah, it's so Korean. It is so, the edits are so
It's so
Korean.
dramatic.
Okay, it is so dramatic. The music used was like so kanchong.
Yeah,
It's like, oh my god, what's gonna happen?
yeah.
And then like how they zoom into conversations and then the food itself.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my lord.
My
man.
favorite moment so far is that the Bibimbap King or whatever it was.
Oh my
the
god!
one who got to do the song and everything.
The chef.
Yes.
That was
Dressed in like a royal outfit.
Korean royal outfit, and then he made a bim. He even trademarked bimbap.
Yeah.
Or like something along
King
the lines of that.
Bimbap
Yeah, King
on a
bimbap.
symbol.
Yeah. And, oh my god! It's so extra. It's so much flair.
And then told the judge, "Oh, you got to sing with me."
Yeah.
Beep, 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 beep.
And then,
B 영어 B I BI. 이거는 이응
전인 문자. 미음. 받침을 한글. 모음 한글.
지금은 의도는 영어하고 한글하고 비벼놨다 이거예요?
네, 제가 차.
탈락했습니다.
And then the elimination was so fucking funny. It's like, congratulations, you're eliminated. I was like, oh my god, I cracked so badly. I was like, oh no.
Like even the judge's face, you could tell,
Yeah.
why am I doing
Yeah,
this?
right. But in summary, it's basically a chef versus chef reality TV show.
Yes.
It is 80
contestants?
It's 100 contestants, but broken down into 80. I wouldn't say celebrity chefs, 80 well-known Korean chefs
Of different backgrounds.
of different
Yes.
backgrounds. You know, people that run
Restaurateurs, cafeteria owners, people like run home-owned businesses.
Just well-known Korean chefs.
Yes.
Right? And then the other 20 are like legendary Korean chefs. You know,
Yes.
people who has already made a name for themselves for like 4 or 5 decades in the industry already.
Yeah.
And they just pit each other, right?
And what I love about it as well is, unlike Hell's Kitchen, where they just go, "Oh, your food's terrible. Is this,
Yeah.
this?" They give real constructive feedback.
Yeah.
And have a positive outlook on things. Like, look, you're good. You're good. Keep that going. Just unfortunately not today. But I admire your spirit. Keep going. Keep cooking. And every single one, I'm like, it's so polite and so like
Yeah, it's so
inspiring.
Asian.
Yeah,
It's so
yeah,
Asian.
it's so Asian.
It's like,
Every time after eliminating it, kamsahamnida.
yeah, right. It's like and they bow, you know, they're like,
Kamsahamnida. Like,
okay.
I love it. Go and check it out. Trust me, Kelvin's recommendation is on point for this.
Yeah.
Culinary Class Wars. Go and see that. It's on Netflix right now. You won't be disappointed.
Just watch it with a full stomach, please.
Yeah, like
Please.
Kelvin is loving that show. He has watched it.
Yeah.
I think how many episodes are you in now?
I just finished the entire thing yesterday.
So Kelvin finished the entire thing.
All 12 episodes is out on Netflix already. Because when I watched it, it was up to like episode 6 and then episode 8 and then 10 and then 12.
How long did it take you to finish? How many days?
Yes. Anyways, please watch it. Amazing on Netflix. Full stomach.
Because you managed to finish the 6 episodes of Culinary Class Wars. But yet, you haven't watched Blade.
I don't know what you're talking about. Anyways, you
Yeah,
were-
so I have another film to talk about while we skirt over that topic of Blade once again. It's called House of Spoils, which is currently now streaming on Amazon Prime.
This fillet's about to look so sexy, you're gonna leave your wife.
Well, yeah, that's how it's done. Watch and learn.
I'm leaving to be head chef at my own restaurant. We have a beautiful site upstate.
All yours, baby.
Ooh.
Now, when I first saw this trailer, I sent it to you as
Yeah.
well. It looked very interesting. It's sort of like, I mean, it's Blumhouse. So it's going to be sort of this horror sort of element to it around cooking.
I didn't know it was Blumhouse.
Oh, it is
Yeah,
Blumhouse. It's executive produced by Jason Blum, so it is Blumhouse. When I first looked at it, it reminded me a lot of The Menu, because The Menu again is very psychological horror with food.
That's a Thai one, right?
No, The Menu is the one with the one we just talked about.
Voldemort.
Yes, Voldemort.
Voldemort, yeah.
With Ray
Wait, what's
Fiennes,
the
Anya
Thai one called
Taylor-Joy.
again?
Hunger.
Hunger, yes, Hunger, yeah.
Oh, if you haven't watched Hunger, I highly recommend that. I highly recommend that.
Yeah.
It's like Whiplash, but with food. Anyway, so then there was House of Spoils, which looks like it was set up to be sort of this horror type thing with the chef who's starting to run her own restaurant in this new abandoned sort of house, which has a history behind it. But we don't know what that history is until you watch the film. Now, not to say I had high expectations, but I had expectations because the trailer looked great. It looked very intriguing. However, after watching it, I will say this is a very sort of mid-tier film.
Okay.
It's very Blumhouse. And I hate to say, it's very the last couple of years of Blumhouse.
Mid-tier Wolves or lower than Wolves?
Lower than Wolves.
Okay.
Lower
okay.
than Wolves. Because Blumhouse, let's face it, they haven't put out anything that is of high caliber since, say, the most recent one, maybe The Black Phone. But I mean, they've done great things like Get Out, stuff with Jordan Peele.
Five Nights at Freddy's.
Again. But The Black Phone was still on point.
Okay.
Megan was fun. It was a higher point in Blumhouse, but the last few years hasn't been great for Blumhouse.
For me, Blumhouse has always been like that Walmart Hollywood.
Kinda.
Right.
Like there are some gems in there. Invisible Man as well.
Yes.
That was great.
The remake?
The remake. The one with, what's her name from Handmaid's Tale. But this just feels like another run-of-the-mill Blumhouse film that's half-baked. I will say it's half-baked. There's some strong messages there, but I feel like it wasn't risky enough. They didn't take enough risk. Ariana DeBose is fantastic in this. I will say watch it for her performance.
Okay.
Like, some people say her performance is over-exaggerated. I beg to differ because I feel the script wasn't on to par with where she was.
Right.
She does an amazing job. Like, I was in awe of her in this film. It's just the script didn't do her justice. Like, it started off very, what is going on? Because there are these sort of subliminal messages that suddenly come in. Like, she starts seeing insects all over the place, all over her food, and you're like, wait, what's going on? There are a few jump scares here and there, but not major ones.
Okay.
It's very intriguing. And then it gets to the middle point that you're like, wait, so where is this actually going? Like, an hour in, I'm still sitting there going, what actually is going on? There's another 40 minutes to go, and in the midway point, I'm still questioning.
Okay.
And then, okay, this will be a little bit of a spoiler review because of the fact that I need to talk about this in order to give context. It turns into this thing about witches.
Right.
And how witches were not understood. And it starts to turn into this thing of a tale about over-consumerism and how we're so consumed by the flashiest, fanciest things that we tend to forget the more homegrown roots is the best thing and where we belong. We tend to forget what matters to us in that sense. So the film eventually turns into this thing of going back to its roots, which again, with the witches, where they just made things from the ground and foraged what they could from the forest and made stuff from there. And that's when the film ends up, where she crawls out of a hole, realizes this whole thing of trying to make this fine dining experience, but all she needed to do was go back to her roots. But it felt neither here nor there in that sense that were they trying to make a horror? Were they trying to make a sort of, not political, but a film with a very strong message about consumerism? What was it? That's why I say it was half-baked. Like, it was neither here nor there. It could have been better. It had so much potential. Like, I will say, watch this film. Do watch it. But just know that you might be left a bit confused, left going, this is not so great. But there is high potential for it, which is why I call it mid-tier.
Okay.
Because it's not bad. It's not good, but it's not bad. So, and some of the shots used, of course, very, very chef-table-y, wonderfully shot food stylings. There are moments that are absolutely disgusting because there's close-up of people eating with their mouths, which gives you that very eerie, like gooey sort of feeling.
Okay.
So there are good elements, there are bad elements. But at the end of the day, I feel like this is a film that had so much potential but was just wasted.
Right.
I would give it, on this little clapper meter here, maybe a good 4 out of 10.
Yeah, it's funny you mention that because on IMDb and also on like Google reviews, for example, the movie is, hold on. Where is it? Oh, IMDb is a 4.8 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes is 45 out of 100.
Like, there's a line in the film where, I wrote this down, hang on a sec. There's a line in the film where the reviewer, when they first reviewed her food, said that her food felt too safe. That's exactly how I feel about this film. Like, the film itself was too safe.
Right.
There's so much more you could have done, and you take risk and really go out there with it. But they just sort of scaled it back, almost like they reined it in to go, oh, maybe not so much. But I say you could have gone all the way, and it would have made for a fantastic film with a strong message behind it.
Right.
Because I always appreciate a film with a message behind it, and this did have it. Even though it took me a while, like I sent you that message going, I just watched House of Sports, and my first word, and not even word, but GIF was, what?
Okay.
And then I sat with it for a while, and I was like, oh, okay, so that's what the ending was. Because the ending did leave me a bit confused. But when I started digging into it and thinking about it more, I'm like, it's really a strong message about consumerism. And how, again, like I said before, everyone is so wild by the newest, fanciest thing. Case in point, iPhone 16 Pro. Don't get me started on fucking Apple. But again, I know. But there are so much better things if you just look out there and go back to the roots of what made things work. Like, we always pine for the days of what? A Nokia 3310.
Oh my God.
Like, it doesn't get better than that.
Yeah.
So you compare an iPhone 16 Pro and a 3310. Sure, they both give us strong feelings. But there's something about the 3310 that's like,
that gets the job done. Man.
Yeah, yes.
Right?
That's it.
Done. So
that is it.
On Rotten Tomatoes, the critics' consensus is this one line here.
Yeah.
One paragraph here. And I quote, "Whipping up promising ingredients and elegantly planting them, House of Sports have the presentation down, but ultimately delivers empty calories."
Yeah, that's actually a very good way of putting it. Like I said, a lot of potential, a lot of wasted opportunity that could have happened, and Ariana DeBose carried that film on her back.
I think this is what I'll watch tonight.
Go and watch it. Go in it with an open mind. Just don't go into it expecting to be impressed.
Got hantu?
Like I said, there are, I won't say hantu, witches. There are dead bodies. Again, like I said, there are moments that is going to not creep you out but disgust you.
Okay.
There are one or two jump scares.
Okay.
But the horror, again, that horror wasn't pushed far enough.
Okay.
To me, at least, it wasn't scary.
If Conjuring was here, where would House of Spell?
Down here.
All right. Yeah.
Down here.
Okay.
Like, it didn't scare me. Like, it did not scare me at all. Like, I can see it coming. I know something's going to happen. It was not frightening to me at all. Maybe for people that can't do horror that much, it will be scary. But if you have a basic library of horror films in your armory, it's not going to frighten you at all. It might disgust you. Like, I admit, again, there are shots that are just like, gully lah, I thought that. But that's about it.
Fair enough.
It's worth a watch. I will say it's worth a watch, worth a think. But don't be overly impressed with it. Mid-tier. Okay. That's the best way I can say. Mid-tier. House of Spoils, now available on Amazon Prime. Go and watch it. Go and watch that. And if you're doing a double bill, which I did, definitely watch that and then Wolves. Don't start with Wolves. Start with this and then Wolves. Okay. Because Wolves is a good palate cleanser for this. Okay. And if you're watching Joker Folie à Deux, definitely watch Wolves. So yeah, that has been our little review on Wolves, on House of Spoils, and also Culinary Class Wars. Go see that on Netflix. And if you want to check us out on social media, you can check us out on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube at Clappercorn. Where can they follow RRP?
www.renegadeplus.com.
There you go. So until next time, I'm Nick Dorian.
And I'm Kelvin Tay.
Keep watching the movies.